I think I asked, you said he was not a high-value man, but you're a high-value woman.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you a high-value woman?
I'm focused on my education. That's something I value. I focus on exercising. I'm nurturing, kind, loving, respectful. I'm a great sister. I'm very involved in my family. I'm religious to an extent. I don't just sleep around with whoever. I'm very selective about that. I'm careful about who I surround myself with. I don't go out often. I don't really smoke anything anymore at all. Like, I had that time period of...
When's the last time you talking about weed?
Yeah, and nicotine.
When's the last time you smoked weed?
Probably like a month ago, and I don't do it very often, is what I'm saying.
When's the last time you smoked nicotine?
Like a month, too.
I mean, that's not a very long track record.
But I'm also 20 years old, so you know what I mean? Like,
your age, I mean, I don't think your age is...
No, I'm just talking about, like, you know, a high-value woman is not going to be like a 16-year-old girl. Like, I'm on the path to get there, and some of my characteristics embody that, and I want to continue working towards that because I think...
Do you party on the weekends?
I haven't been lately. The only time I'm going to be partying this month is like after finals.
When's the last time you went out and partied on the weekend?
During Thanksgiving. That's different if it's holidays, but like most people here in Santa Barbara have to go out like once a week.
So
but I haven't been.
Thanksgiving was 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. And I just went out because that was like a holiday and everyone was back from home. Before that
Halloween and then...
Yeah, stuff like that.
And then what about before that?
Well, I don't really remember. But it was not often.
Because you were blacked out drunk?
No, it just hasn't been that often, but I think...
High-value women don't go out to bars and clubs and parties and get shit-faced and drunk and tanked, but it's not clear to me if you do, but...
That's why I'm saying, like, I'm not trying to as much, and when I do it, it's kind of to celebrate with my friends, like, we finished the quarter, just to go out with, like, my girls. It's very interesting because men always think that women go out to go sleep with like men, but the thing is that's some great projection. And I recently talked to some guy friends and we were just having conversations like this, trying to educate each other, and they were saying 9 times out of 10 when a man goes out, he goes out with an intention of ultimately sleeping with a woman that night. But I was talking about when us women do, I'm sure some of us do it with the intention of sleeping with a man. But a lot of the time we're doing it just to celebrate, have fun, like be a girl, literally just dance with our friends and make fun, heartfelt memories. I'm not saying some don't go out with that intention of sleeping with someone, but the intentions, the majority of the time, don't line up.
I'm curious, and Q, I think you probably have something to weigh in on that, but if you're just trying to have fun, why not just have a night in with your female friends, put on some music, get some alcohol, and drink in your house? Why the need to go to very specific social gathering venues where the drinks are really expensive, people are drunk and obnoxious, there's strangers there, it's sometimes unsafe, it's sometimes dangerous, the music is perhaps too loud, that you don't get to pick the music that you want. I'm just curious, like, what is the purpose of going to, say, a bar or a nightclub or a party?
I think Courtney has something to say before I do.
Well, because it's like a big playground. Everyone's drunk, running around, stupid. It's fun. It's not always the intention of hooking up with someone, and it doesn't have to be, but some people have that intention, and that's okay.
And I think
you guys can dance around it all you want.
Like, it's kind of the atmosphere,
you guys can dance around it all you want, but the reality is, like, people go to these very specific social gatherings for the potential opportunity of meeting a new person.
Some people.
I think sometimes
women like to dance around this, but the reality is, like, you're going out and, like, you want to meet a guy at these parties.
No.
Yes, you do.
It's not all the time.
Not always. Sometimes you're in the mood.
For example, we go out.
Then why not just stay in? I don't get it.
Well, because the atmosphere.
Can you?
The lights.
No,
the
lights?
The loudness.
Oh, the lights. There's fun.
Yeah, the dark. Like, it's fun.
What's fun?
And you can't always have that loud of music in your house.
Go to your girlfriend's house.
Brian.
Turn the lights off. Get a laser pointer. Chase it around the ground like a fucking cat.
When we go out together and like the places we go out to, we don't pay for drinks because we
You
have
don't.
like
It's
connections and we have promoters.
Female privilege.
Yes, it's female privilege, and you're fucking projecting because you're mad that you're not a woman.
And
you're
that's
mad that
okay.
you
No,
have
I'm not
expensive
mad.
drinks.
I don't go to. I don't
We
like.
are treated
I
like
don't go to.
princesses where we go, and we are
That's very
respected.
privileged,
People
female
don't
privilege.
look at us. Maybe they want to sleep with us, but they don't act like that. They respect us and they treat us like princesses.
Really,
And
the guys
we
respect you at Isla Vista parties?
They're professional.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's not in Isla Vista. This
Oh,
isn't. I'm
excuse me.
talking
You go
about,
to
like,
the upscale, luxurious Santa Barbara college parties.
No. We drive. We go places. We go to
We
like
do. We have our
West
places.
Hollywood in LA.
Oh, you guys have fake IDs.
We sure do.
The age of entry for establishments that serve alcohol is 21. You guys are 20 and 20. Okay, so you have fake IDs. Cool.
I mean, isn't that known? Like, isn't that like a
Yeah, it's
obvious
common,
thing?
but
Like,
I
It's
mean,
okay. We're gonna be 21 in
doesn't?
2 months. It's
Yeah.
fine.
whatever. I don't care.
Nikki, what do
Really?
you bring to the table though? Because you say you're like a high value woman and things like that, and what
Yes.
makes you a high value woman, you're
Yes.
going towards your education, you're religious, you're focusing on your fitness, but like that's such basic shit that any woman could do.
I'd point
So-
out you mentioned like you're pursuing
I
your
don't
education.
think it's such basic shit that any woman can do. To be honest,
to
I
go
think
to college.
it takes.
That's like the most basic thing
Like go to
anybody
college,
can do.
go to the
But
gym,
do you
be
have, like-
religious.
We've like subsidized people that shouldn't be going to college, but okay. No, I'm not speaking about you. I'm just saying like there's a large cohort of people. That's why college prices are so expensive, because the government is basically co-signing on these irresponsible 18-year-olds taking out 5 to 6 figures of student loans that they have no chance of repaying when they're pursuing their feminist studies and bullshit with other degrees.
Do you
Anyway,
have
sorry, I'm
like life
not a fan of
experience? Do you know
college.
how to change a tire?
No, I don't know how to change a tire, but that's where men and women differ.
So if you get stranded on the side of the road, you're not going to be able to change your tire.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
so does that
That's
mean she's a
something-
low value person?
No, I'm just
like
saying
that doesn't
that there's a
define
lot
anyone.
of like more
But I
things
think
that you
that's
can
why
learn
it's
too and
important
grow
for there
on.
to be like a great line between feminine and masculine roles. I'm a woman. Like I'm not. So all those things that you're saying, like yes, those are like feminine traits that make a high value woman. Changing a tire isn't one of those, because I need like a man to do that.
Maybe to you. Some guys might think a chick changing the tire is hot as shit.
yeah.
Wait,
Exactly.
Q, did you have something on the whole club
Yeah,
bar
feminine
party
man.
thing?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Feminine,
I was gonna say. It's essentially for validation. That's what it is. Everything else is rationalizations. It's essentially for validation. When you said the free drinks, it's the acknowledgement, it's the rewards, it's guys basically seeing you being seen, you being given things to, free gifts. It's the opportunity to be in an atmosphere where you feel like you're valued, you mean something. And what comes out of that often is, if it's a club with a VIP section, if there's guys in there who are high status, they the top guys, you get invited into their VIP section, you get special acknowledgement, you get special privilege. You're essentially advertising yourself. That's what you're doing. Whether you want to agree with it or not, whether you believe it or not, you are essentially putting yourself in a dating scene, because that's why men go to clubs. That's why men party. They know women are going to be there. That's why y'all get in free. That's an offering to the men. It's like, you guys show up, you guys got to pay what you got to pay, but the ladies that y'all are going to essentially be able to choose from, especially if you're a guy with money, you got a club section, you VIP, these are the women that we're bringing. So we bring women in free, y'all pick the women that y'all want to choose from. And that's essentially what it is. It's an advertisement, it's an opportunity for validation, and it's essentially being you served to men on a platter if they want that from you. That's
Yes,
essentially
Wait,
what it boils
you
down
don't just, and one thing, and I'll let you respond to him. You say that you don't party a lot, but you have found it necessary to get a fake ID so that you can party?
But I told you I'm still young, so I'm still working towards
But like
that.
you
And this
said,
is
you don't
something-
party a lot.
But that's something
like,
I recently started doing
why
the
the
past
need-
months. I had that since the end of my senior year of high school, Brian.
So you've been partying.
I'm a junior at UCSB. I went through
That's
those
fine.
phases, but in any point in anyone's life, you're constantly being educated on new things. So I'm constantly growing as a person, and I'm going to be learning more and more as I go. And that's something I've recently started to value. You know, everyone kind of goes crazy like their freshman year of college, for example, I think, or at some point or another. So that's at the point I am.
Well,
with
let
my
me just
life. Yeah.
And I know you wanted to respond to Q.
Oh,
I would
yes,
just
I
say,
do.
like, gentlemen, do not date current or former party girls, girls who go to bars, clubs, etc. That's it. That's all I had to say.
Gentlemen, I want you to know that women and men have different intentions when it comes to that. And
Doesn't matter.
I understand what you're saying, because those are men's intentions and that's why they want the girls there, because those are their hopes. But that doesn't mean the women will necessarily uphold those hopes and intentions of the men to go out.
No, it doesn't.
We're very different. So there are going to be some girls that go out and do have those intentions, like I was saying, and some men that will get those wishes fulfilled. But then there are those women that aren't going to advertise themselves or end up sleeping with those guys.
Well, just by virtue of you being in the club is advertising. Just by virtue of you posting photos on Instagram, that is advertising. Men, have you ever approached a guy?
Rarely.
Rarely.
Yes.
How often have you been approached?
I think you asked this in the last podcast, but I said it was like 90% them, like 10% me.
But like when you go out,
approaching
like
them.
you get approached a lot, right? See, this is,
Yes.
I mean, this is a difference between men and women, is that
So every time you go out, you're putting yourself in an environment to be approached, especially if it's a bar or a club.
But we could control how we react.
You
And
can,
honestly,
you can, but
honestly, bar or club, us women will be on the street wearing sweats, no makeup, hair up. We'll still get approached. And again, this
Sure.
is a
It's
fundamental
inevitable.
difference between men and women, and it's about how we react.
Well, I don't-
And just because we want to put ourselves in an environment while you're young, I'll literally call my mom and ask her, like, should I go out, Mom? Because I'll still sometimes be like, but I like want to celebrate. And she's like, you should, because one day you're gonna have children and like you're gonna have to watch them, and you won't be able to like be young and have fun, like run free and like dance with your friends. Like, she's not like, yeah, like go sleep with some guy. Like, no, it's not like that. It's kind of about also like preserving your youth, because all of these things become intangible one day, you know?
I mean, you can, if you were so inclined, a 50-year-old could go to some fucking 21-year-old hotspot if she wanted to, I guess. But I mean, also I would actually argue it's, if you're trying to preserve your youth, actually staying out late, drinking, partying, doing drugs, smoking, being in these stressful, chaotic environments actually contribute more to you aging than not engaging in them.
You only live once.
But like you drinking your soda could also contribute to you aging.
Is
All
that a
that
whataboutism?
sugary.
I mean,
It's like affecting
this is,
your immune system.
I mean, this is like a
And your
secret
body.
juice. It's not, first off, I'm not drinking soda.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm drinking
But
like
a lot could be said about different things, you know what I mean? Like that
Sure.
argument could be said for so many different topics.
Okay, but I was specifically
and
addressing
things.
your argument about preserving your youth by going out to bars and nightclubs. Look, the difference is that men and women are different in how they run game, so to speak. So I'm going to credit, there's this Twitter thread that I've referenced before from LDG. I want to give them credit, of course. So women don't approach men. They put themselves in positions where they could be approached by men, like clubs, for example. They're not going to DM a guy, but they'll post pictures to lure men into DMing them, for example, on Instagram. Men are salesmen, women are marketers. So the difference, like most guys are just too naive and lack the capacity to be able to identify this distinction. So in a committed relationship, I think that men should stop pitching and women should stop advertising. So I think it's the case that like, oh, well, you know, as long as I'm not directly attempting to like approach a guy, that's fine. Or if I turn down guys at bars, that's fine. But women were never initiating conversations with men. Women were never initiating conversations with men to begin with. Like, we use different strategies to get similar outcomes. So it's just totally different.
And behaviorally, I get the distinction that y'all make in between. Like, guys say, I want to get laid tonight, so I'm gonna go out, or the goal is to get laid. You don't say that. You and your girls don't say that. Like, oh, let's go get laid tonight. Y'all don't say that shit. But what I'm saying is, if your intent is not to get laid, that doesn't mean you're not going to get laid. That doesn't mean you're not going to get to the club and see a cute guy, and the cute guy is going to approach you, and your girlfriend's going to say, oh, you know, well, we'll let you go back home with him, or whatever the case may be. A lot of the time, this shit happens. So On the outside looking in, it's easy to say, yeah, that's not our intention. But what we see actually happening in reality is this is what actually happened. Women go out, they end up getting fucked. It's
me and my friends. I
don't want you to personalize it, but the point is this happens, and it happens often. It happens all the time. It's going to happen tonight, everywhere.
That's part of being young.
I think that's also.
But that's what we're saying.
But that's also your perception, because those are the experiences you've had and the women you surround yourself with. I'm sure you're a guy that goes out and gets laid. So you assume that like all women go out and get.
I don't
laid
party.
Like that.
I don't party your club.
Like I said, also.
Good for you.
Again, this.
You've never had a one night stand?
Of course I have. Like my freshman year of college, and I'm constantly growing, like I'm saying, and I'm not trying to do that. So that wasn't also my intention when I would go out. It's exactly what you said. Like pretty much, I like found some people cute, and I ended up sleeping with them. But again, there's that self-control aspect, and you live and you learn. But please hold on, I'm not finished.
Go
with
ahead.
My point.
Finish your point.
So I also know this distinguish between women when they go out and men when they go out. So I'm not, and I'm also like celibate right now, but I'm not gonna
You've
go
been
out
celibate for a month, by the way.
Okay, I was celibate for 9 months before, and honestly, it works wonders, because as a woman, I feel like it de-blinds you, and it really helps you see
I'll
men
take your
for
word
what
for
they
it. I
are.
just want to say one thing to that. A lot of I want to make let me just make one point, and then I'll let you come in. Gentlemen watching, I'm not doubting what she's saying. It may very well be true. I'll take her word for it. I do want to let you guys know, a lot of women come on the show and say, my body count is this, I haven't hooked up with a guy recently, I'm celibate, blah, blah, blah. Cameras turn off, we talk behind the scenes, and they admit, my body count is actually 3 times, 4 times. They'll say, oh, I was 5. And then behind the scenes, I'm not saying you, they'll tell us the truth. Oh, they said they're single, they actually have a boyfriend. They said they're celibate, they fucked last night. So I'm not saying it's the case for hair, but you guys should take things with a grain of salt when people say certain things. So, yeah.
Okay. Not me, but other people. Anyways.
Okay.
So that distinction I'm making, that makes me knowledgeable about the kind of guys that are in clubs. So I'm not going to want to seek out a partner in a club knowing that the majority of men go for those reasons. That's not really like... Yeah,
Loose Pussy Energy donated $200. Fucking cap. These 304s cannot stop capping. Get the fuck out. Stop the damn cap with all that bullshit. Yeah, I said it. Do some. Hashtag Nick Paul's cap lol. Hashtag fuck your rats. Hashtag get the rocks. Hashtag I want the smoke.
Do you want to respond to him?
Respectfully, I don't know who hurt you, but go to therapy.
Who hurt you, Loose Pussy Energy?
Like, no. Like,
Who hurt
go
you?
to therapy. Like, I don't know what women hurt you, but not all of us are like that. And